Good morning, friends. I'm Pastor Ben Hayes from First Baptist Church, Dadeville, Alabama, bringing you our thought for the day on this Monday morning. And I hope that you are having a fantastic day today as we continue our journey into spring. I'm excited about this coming Sunday. One, because we'll be meeting again in the Lord's house, but two, because we'll be moving our clocks forward an hour. What a blessing that will be. But I hope that you're having a great day today. I hope you've started out already with your copy of the Word and some time in prayer with the Father. But just ask you to join me today for just a few minutes as we continue to journey through the book of Proverbs. And we're talking about the words of King Solomon in Proverbs chapter 28. We're finishing up chapter 28 today. And it's been an amazing journey as we've walked through this because not only do we have wisdom for living, we also see insight into human nature. And human nature is a funny thing, the way that we are, because we have a desire to excel. We have a desire to win. Most of us, to some degree or another, have a competitive nature. Some are more competitive than others, and I unfortunately have a very strong competitive nature. Sonia will attest to that, and I handed that down to my daughters. But as we think about human nature, one of the things that happens is we want to be on a winning team. And when the side is winning, that's when we come out in support of those people. Well, King Solomon's kind of talking a little bit about that. In verse 28, he says, "When the wicked arise, men hide themselves, but when they perish, the righteous increase." Now, here's the thing. Wicked men do wicked things. And so what happens is those who are good tend to shy away from them because it's safer, it's easier just to disappear. And that's what he's talking about here. Good people will tend to pull back from confrontation with those who are wicked. And that's not a bad thing. It's just a statement of fact. That's who we are. It's not because we're cowards. It's not because we're afraid. It's because we know that bad things happen when wicked people increase in power. And we want to protect ourselves and we want to protect our families. But then notice what he says, when they perish, when the wicked perish, the righteous increase. How does that happen? What makes the wicked perish? Well, it's because those who are willing to stand in the gap against the wicked, who fight back against the wicked, they're the ones who cause the wicked to perish. And at that point, then the righteous people, the good people, join in with them and they grow in power and in numbers. Well, who are those who stand in the gap? Well, I think we can identify several. We can identify good government leaders who are willing to do the right things and make the right decisions. I think we can identify our military men and women who are willing to fight for our freedoms and our liberties, who defend those who can't defend themselves. I think we can identify our law enforcement officers who are willing every day to go out and face down the wicked, to provide safety and security for those of us who are in need of safety and security. I think we could identify our firefighters who go out and fight the fires, and our paramedics, and our doctors and our nurses who are standing in the gap right now against this pandemic that has ravaged our nation and our world. And there's so many people who stand in the gap for us. And what we need to do is we need to pray for them. Prayer is the least that we can do for them, to let them know that we're here with them, that we are supporting them through prayer. But we also need to join them and stand with them because that's how the wicked are banished, is when more and more righteous people take a stand and do the right thing. We need to, as Christians, to stand together on the principles of God's word. We need to stand firm for what we believe. We need to make our voices heard in a way that is pleasing to the Father. And we need to make sure that we continue to be the salt and the light that God has called us to be, that Jesus said that we are. And how do we do that? Well, it's not really by voting. It's not really by contacting our legislators, even though those are good things and things that every Christian ought to do. The way that we do that is by being the witnesses that God's called us to be, telling lost people about the love of God and the dangers of rebelling against Him. You see, the way that we're going to win this battle is one heart and one soul at a time. So if every believer would just make it their prayer, their decision, their desire to reach one lost person with the gospel of Jesus Christ, we could make a tremendous impact in this country. I hope that you'll think about that today. Think about, pray about what God would have you to do. Ask Him to show you the one that you're supposed to reach. I hope you have a great day today. God bless.